What's going on, guys? Welcome to Arsenal Fan TV, and before I start this video I'd just like to quickly apologise for not doing a preview for this game. I haven't had all that much time over the Christmas period. I'm sure you'll respect that, but this was one hell of an entertaining game. West Ham v Arsenal, it was a totally different style of game to what we saw the other night against Chelsea. West Ham were really up for the 3 points in this one. When you're facing a team that is battling against relegation, they're always going to come at you and they're always going to be fighting for those vital 3 points, and they showed that today. However, Arsenal, very good lineup, extremely strong one, and I'm surprised we actually kept Olivier Giroud in that team. And for me, I thought Giroud today, he reflected so much that he was tired, and we have to give the guy a break at some point. He's played so many games in a row, and no, he didn't have a great performance. Yeah, he did miss a couple of chances, but to be fair, I'm trying to take into consideration that we've had a lot of strikers out injured for the moment. With Podolski coming back, he can afford to rest now. He hasn't scored a goal in a while now, in about 5 games. So, maybe when we play Newcastle, maybe play Podolski there, maybe even play Nicholas Bendtner, because Bendtner for me hasn't actually put a foot wrong for Arsenal just yet, especially coming off the bench recently. Recently Bendtner hasn't done anything wrong. He's put in some decent performances when coming off the bench, and why not give him a chance? And if not, at least you've got the guarantee of having someone like Olivier Giroud on the bench. But my point there is Giroud has got to have a rest. But that first half today, it was all Arsenal. That we dominated the game, especially in that first period. But one thing that constantly happened on the pitch, and we constantly gave the ball away. It's ridiculous. We were creating our own problems, and that's what frustrated me so much. We were doing so much with the ball, making all these lovely triangles of movement, and then, someone like Ramsey or someone like Cazorla goes and gives it away, and it was so frustrating to watch because the West Ham defence weren't having to do anything, because we were either passing it straight to them or running straight into their defenders, and they weren't even having to make the tackles. Walcott arguably had the best chance of the game. It was a lovely looping ball by Aaron Ramsey up towards him, and he really has got to be testing the keeper from there. He didn't do that, but later on he redeemed himself in the game. Get onto that a bit later though. But that first half, there was no real end product for Arsenal after what had been an absolute rampage of dominant play. Second half, however, it was a much more open game, and we were extremely punished for not taking our chances. Carlton Cole with a bit of an odd goal, really. Kevin Nolan had a fantastic shot on goal. Questions raised here as to why no one was marking him, but he had a great shot. Szczesny fumbled it, and it was an easy finish for Carlton Cole. But a lot of people are going to blame Szczesny, and yeah, it was a mistake. But to be fair, the guy has probably been one of our most consistent players this season. I'm not going to get on his back too much, because he's definitely been outstanding for us, and he was really good the rest of that game, especially when West Ham did that cheeky little free kick manoeuvre they do, and he makes himself big. He doesn't put a foot wrong, so it's one mistake out of none that he's kind of made this season. But it was hard for us going a goal down, and West Ham continued to pile pressure on us. And the result really couldn't have gone our way today, because West Ham could have scored another 2 or 3. That is a fact. They had a chance through Kevin Nolan, I believe. Matt Jarvis for them looked extremely dangerous on the left-hand side. And Carlton Cole came very close with a header. So we could have been 2-0 down by the 60th minute, and it kind of would have been game over from there. But thankfully, they missed their chances, and we carried on fighting. And it shows great character of the side, really, to carry on when you're a goal down, away from home, when there's a really intimidating atmosphere at Upton Park. And we carried on with the game. Santi Cazorla, for me, in the second half was exceptional, as was Mesut Ozil, as was Theo Walcott. Those 3 players, they haven't actually played together for Arsenal yet, and they were absolutely outstanding today, all 3 of them, especially in that second half. Glad to see Ozil getting involved a lot more. I think there's a stat that he created 8 chances today. That's absolutely great record for him, and I'm really hoping it continues. But we carried on, and we got a goal through Theo Walcott. It was about 10-15 minutes later after we conceded, and bit of an odd goal. Credit to him for taking it around the defenders and then finishing with his left foot. Adrian, the keeper, should have done 100 times better. He really fumbled it. He got his hands on it, but then it just went through him. But thankfully, it went in the back of the net. Theo Walcott, he's really coming back on the scene now. That's great to see, because he could be one of our top goal scorers this season. But it was a great finish by Walcott. Like I said, the keeper should have done better, but you know, a goal's a goal, and it was 1-1, and it was really game on from there. But then again, West Ham, you know, they weren't threatening after that. It was only Arsenal. I don't get why that was. West Ham just kind of fell asleep and gave us the game. It was kind of simple from there on in, and we added pressure and pressure and pressure, and then got a bit of a blow really when Aaron Ramsey went off. I'm really hoping he's going to be a bit better. That's not great news for him on his birthday, but you know, he put in a decent performance today, and you know, at least it gives him a chance to rest over the festive period. So hopefully he'll come back stronger. I think he'll be back maybe for the Spurs game. Not too sure yet. Wenger said he'll be out for a good couple of days, maybe weeks or so. But you know, Podolski came on, and in his first game back, to get an assist and a goal in a matter of what, 20 minutes. The guy's fantastic, and he is so good to have back in the team. I always thought he was going to have a big season this season, and he had an excellent shift today. Great cross to the left-hand side, took a deflection off Tompkins, and it was a simple finish for Walcott. Actually, saying that, it wasn't quite all that simple. He had to get in the air, and for a small bloke, pretty hard to do, but he powered it past the keeper, 2-1 up, and it was all Arsenal from then. We could have gone on and scored 3, 4, 5. Cazorla had a good chance on goal, and he was absolutely, like I said, I already said he was phenomenal, but can't stress enough quite how good it is to have him back, to have Podolski back, and to have Walcott back, all playing at the top of their game, because it was great to see today. As well as that, Thomas Vermaelen, again for me, another player that didn't put a foot wrong. There were times when he looked a little shaky, but he didn't do anything to criticise at all. And you know, that Vermaelen partnership is a decent one, and it's one I'd like to see a bit more this season, because Vermaelen, like I've said many times before, is an absolute class player, and he showed it yet again today. But you know, we really did rampage from there on in. Podolski, it was great work. I think it was Olivier Giroud who'd been having a relatively quiet game, playing it back to Podolski, and it was a beautiful, beautiful finish. We've seen him do that so many times. Quite a similar goal to what he scored against Fulham, and it's just great to have him scoring again. It gives us so many more options. I mean, against Newcastle, we could play Walcott, Podolski, you know, Cazorla up front, and that would be really exciting to watch. I would love to see Podolski play as a striker, because he's really up for it now, and he's got the goals in him, and Giroud does need a rest, so it is absolutely great to have these options. But it's a great victory today, and Nicholas Bender, when he came off the bench, another player that was absolutely relishing a goal. Another reason why I want him to play against Newcastle is because he wants to score. You know, you see him today just screaming for the ball. He wants to get a goal. He wants his confidence, and he looks confident. I mean, he's got the belief in himself. If he can put that into the actual game, then why not give him a run out? I mean, Newcastle away is going to be extremely tough. They've had a great win today. They're going to be flying with confidence. But again, they're another team that we can put to bed. But you know, today it's a great win. We're top of the Barclays Premier League for now, dependent on the Liverpool game. You know, let's be glad, and hopefully we can be top of the league come New Year. But those have been my thoughts on the West Ham versus Arsenal match. If you have enjoyed the video, it would be quality if you could click the like button, subscribe for more videos, and as always, thanks for watching, guys.